Have you ever noticed the moment you reach a certain age, everyone suddenly becomes very much interested in your marriage plans? Relatives asks, friends asks, families ask, even strangers asks you that when are you getting married? But what people rarely talk about is the pressure that actually comes after marriage, especially when in-law dynamics enter the picture, isn't it? Let's unpack that today in this episode. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Mukund, the Road Dog. Welcome back to the Road Dog podcast. This is a space where I openly talk about life, pressure, expectations, and realities of many of us that face in real life, and rarely most people talk about that. So, in today's episode, something a lot of people experience but do not always speak about openly, like in-law dynamics and the pressure around the marriage. Especially in our culture, marriage isn't about two people, it almost becomes about families, expectations, traditions, opinions, and sometimes even control. So basically, there is a lot, and depending from where you are listening or watching this video from, it can and it may not reciprocate with you, but mostly men and women at certain age go through this thing, and let's unpack. If it resonates with you, then wonderful. If it doesn't, then sure. If everything goes well in life, then why we have problems in life, isn't it? Right? So we do have problems, which means something doesn't go as we planned, or so on and so forth. So anyways, let's just get into it. I'm going to segment or divide this into a few chapters. Like, let's just say like marriage expectations. Because recent times, one thing I have been experienced very recent times, people, once you reach at certain age, especially after 20, if you are a woman, then early 20s, and if you are a man, somewhere around late 25s or late 20s, let's just say, hypothetically. But in some cultures, the marriage pressure is even a little bit further or a little bit back. It depends completely, okay? But if it resonates with you, then take it as a suggestion. But on the recent times, I have very much recently observed a fact that once you reach certain age, the pressure is becoming a great lot from parental generations and other people more than the person who wants to get married itself. And the reason being very silly these days. Like, if you are already happy being single, other people don't want to be happy. kind of a situation, right? So it's overwhelmingly funny. And sometimes, parents and other people, the pressure is there. Like, people try to understand. Let's understand this in a little bit broader aspect, okay? According to me, I have to tell that, otherwise people might take it wrong. First things first, marriage is basically optional. If you want, if you are ready for the marriage, if you are ready for the challenges and the complications, and also there will be good things as well with that too, sure, but you are also ready for the bad things that comes, or disadvantage that comes with the marriage, then only you have to think deeper and clearly before getting into it. Otherwise, what will happen? Your life will be completely ruined. You will be completely devastated. For sure. So that's why I suggest, like I have talked with many people, those who recently got married and so on and so forth. Now don't ask me, did you also talk about marriage with your patients? Did they tell this all this? There's been a significant amount of people saying that, but their age group is entirely different. But I'll tell you real case scenarios. Few of my known colleagues or in the same age group people, they got married, and this is what they told me. Marriage is all good for a certain point of time. After that, you will have to face the real consequences after a certain point of a time. I'm not blaming marriage is bad or marriage is good. I'm not. It's an individual decision that you have to take at certain point, whether you wanted to get married or not. It's up to you completely. But all I'm going to tell is very simple, that don't get married from external pressures and parental pressures or your close relative pressures to get married and so on and so forth. Don't get married for wrong reasons. That's all I'm trying to say. If you really want to get settled down in life and you want a stable thing, or you are at a place where mentally, physically I am okay where I am right now. Now I am time to get settled, or now it's time to get married, etc., etc. Then fine, go with it. But never ever ever choose marriage as an escape from XYZ problems or this and that. If you do that, you will ruin your own life. So first part of the life, anyways, your parents or your relatives or other people or whatever, it got ruined, let's just say hypothetically, and the next phase of your life you are going to ruin it in the name of marriage. You are so screwed. Because why? You will only be with your parents maybe for 20 or 30 years max. Rest of the whole life you have to be with that person traditionally. So if you screw that up, no one can help you now. So you can get out of the situations, that's not the problem. But psychologically, physically, mentally, you invest so much amount of time, etc., etc., that hits a nerve, and you will understand when you are there in that boat. So yeah, especially for guys, I'm going to tell, because I know my audiences are if you want to get married and for whatever reason you did not achieve your dreams, you did not achieve your goals yet in your life, then don't even think about marriage. Because if you are in your early 20s, late 20s, fine. For men, it's like a wild card. We can get married whenever we want, kind of a thing. If once you are at a mental state where you are fine, like I am good now, it's time for me to step up into next thing and so on and so forth, fine. But for women it's different thing, because purely talking from biological aspects, nothing, I'm not trying to discriminate anyone here, but just saying, men attains full youth by 30, approximately 28 to 30, let's just say. Women attains that by 15 years or 13 years beginning, and then it might reach to the peak by 30-35. That's just pure science. Okay, I'm not saying that even in there are still cases that women got conceived for pregnancies around 35 age, 39. I have even seen in OB/GYN while I was working there as an intern, back while I was studying my medicine course. So during the time I even saw people are conceiving around 38, 39, even 40, 41 too. So it's very rare, but there is still a chance, but we cannot say that. So purely from biological perspective. So yeah, I mean different cultures, different people, different things has different outcomes. Of course, I don't know whether it exists in India. I am not sure because I did not see any evidence here. But in abroad, I did see the evidence that people are still getting conceived at higher age groups, especially in the females. So that's a whole different dynamics right there. So it all depends. It's very subjective, but just saying. For men, particularly, we have like financial clock kind of a thing. So if you are not ready with that financial clock, or you are just knowing yourself better and you're not ready for whatever reason it can be, it doesn't need to make sense to anyone. If you feel like you're not ready, then you're not ready. Case closed. Do not put yourself pressures, both men and women. When you feel like you're ready, then you're ready. If you're not, you're not. Case closed. Alright? Have a great life. Now, let's move on to the next one. The reality of in-law dynamics. Marriage isn't only just build a relationship with that person, it also comes with a whole package. Now you are also entering into a whole different family system as well. So that family systems can also have different values, different expectations, personalities, and sometimes that can be very, very healthy, supportive, beautiful, and sometimes it can also become very complicated. Like, yeah, we have to talk about both sides here. You cannot take one side, okay? So if everything, like I said in the beginning of this episode, if everything goes good, then where is the problem? There is no problem. If everything that doesn't go good or as expected or healthy or beautiful, that's when the problem comes. The moment the problem comes, your energy will be wasted, your time will be wasted, your efforts will be wasted. You will be introduced into new traumas. That's a whole lots of things you're going to unpack. So it's not that easy as we think. So think before you make the decision. Think through. I am here to give you the good side and bad side of everything, but I'm not going to make a choice. You need to think, analysis, what's best for you, and then make a choice. So that's what I'm doing here. I hope you get it. Let's move on to the next segment, personal autonomy. One thing I strongly believe is that marriage should never cost your individuality. That's what I believe personally, and also I think that's how marriage should be like two individual personalities come together, not like half personalities. Like complete good bad worse, great whatever, and also complete good bad worse, great whatever. So both the things combine, and then you form a beautiful bond. If you're very much proactively fixing your marriage is a work, guys. By the way, I'm telling you, marriage is a work. Like everything needs to work. It's a work. It's a work. Marriage is not just like okay, you got married, everything. No, absolutely not. It's a lot of work you will have to do. Both the partners, both the individuals that who gets married has to consistently work on it. That's when it will work. Otherwise, it won't. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but that's why those two individual partner supports, they needs to know their love language and they needs to focus on each other's well-being and so on and so forth. Like for example, the complicated things can be like careers, jobs, passions. Those things should be there apart from what you like in that person. Like, most people, what they will do these days, this is what I'm doing. Apart from liking your partner, you also need to have other things like hobbies, etc., etc., to keep you occupied, to keep you going in life. Because anything is great in the beginning, and after that 1 or 2 3 years of that phase passes by, that's when everything becomes not so great, because now you need to do the real work. That's called marriage, or any relationship, it's the same thing. But the point is, even though you do all those things, there is no guarantee that the desired outcome can come there or not. We have no idea, no one knows. You have to try it yourself, but before that you need to have that confidence that you want to figure it out. If you don't, for example, for medical professionals like me, my life is going to be very complicated. I'm just giving an example reference. Very complicated, because normally medical professional life is a complicated one. If you take my life personally, this is going to be even like 10 times complicated, because I do like 10 to 100 things at once, and the amount of time, energy I'm going to invest in certain things is crazy, out of charts. That's why if you go through my channel, and if you find where I one side I'm doing this podcast, the other side whenever I get time I do also traveling. And you might think like, how are both things happening? No, both are not happening at the same time. I am just scheduling everything ahead of time, and I follow certain format so that everything comes at certain point. Especially now I took break from my job dedicatedly, because I dedicated my time almost a decade to the medical field, and I deserve, like, I need some time off from the field for myself finally. So that's why I'm traveling, and if you want to check those videos out, you can also check my recent Malaysia videos at the time of this recording, Malaysia playlist. So you can find, if you enjoy it, great. Just giving an output. Like, for average human being, what will be the life? They will be like, okay, we'll go to a job 9 to 5 or 5 to 9, whatever the time, and then you will have marriage time and this and that, so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. Like, we'll have that. For people like us, like in medical professionals, we have no idea. Okay, it can be anything. One day we will be in home, one day we will be not, one day we will be in hospital, one day we will be, no idea, don't know, no guarantee. And also, even the worst part, doctors and medical professionals who are working, our sleep cycles are messed up, our emotional states are messed up, our food cycles are messed up, we are highly volatile, very much stressed with everything, and so on and so forth. So basically, for me, or for any medical professionals, or that can be not just doctors, that can be nurses, anyone, like whoever in the medical professional space, life is going to be crazy hard. That's why you see this frequent people are getting married in the same profession, is because of that. Yeah, regular people, normal people, they can't understand that. I know that very well, because I used to have like couple of friends back in 2025. Now I don't have that kind of friendship anymore, because I like to speak truth no matter what. So the more you speak truth, people don't like to hear truth, they just like to hear something sweet. But anyways, the more you say something from your medical experiences, they get traumatized just hearing this stuff. Then imagine people like us going through there every single day, and then coming back home, and again we are repeating the same cycle again and again, like just a regular Some I'll give an example. Someone died just right now, hypothetically, when you're in duty. It's just a regular normal day for medical professionals. But same thing for normal human beings. Someone dead, people will go like, what? Someone dead. So I'm sorry I'm laughing, but that's the brutal reality of it. You know, something that becomes very normal to us because we spend a lot. That's why doctors, nurses, we are kind of crazy because we spent a lot of time seeing crazy stuff. So obviously we are used to that. And for normal people, this is like very craziest things. Unfortunately or fortunately, that's the truth. So anyways, I hope you get the point here. Okay, let's move on. Moving on to societal pressure kind of a thing. In many societies, especially in Southeast Asia or South Asia in general, mostly parents see this marriage thing as a milestone that they must happen within parents have like this, okay, this certain timeline, this marriage has to happen, otherwise who will marry my daughter or who will marry my son, blah 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 blah. But the reality is everyone's lives moves differently. I know this pressure exists and we cannot blame parents for that as well. Okay, now you might think in previous episodes you are ramping up and saying parents are doing this and that. Now you are saying you cannot blame. Yeah, because the topics are different. I am not against everyone or anyone, and I am not supporting anyone, either parent or children. I am just trying to navigate. The whole purpose of this podcast is basically trying to navigate, looking in a 360 view as much as possible, and knowing here there might need a correction or communication. Here there is a old tactic, it might not work, or habit may not work in the new generation. It's more about understanding only. That's the whole purpose of this the Road Dog podcast. Not for blaming or not for taking one side or another. It's more of a deeper understanding through segments. That's why I give you case scenarios. That's why I give you real life based stories and all those things, is because to change a little bit of perspective or tell you that there are different ways too, for as much as I understand in my life. Okay, I purely talk from my experiences, what I understand through my medical profession so far, and my personal experiences and other people experiences that they share with me, and then other encounters that I had, and so on and so forth. I'll also give you one good example. When I was going to in Malaysia, right? When I went to Malaysia trip in 2026 January, okay, when I had going in a Grab from Kuala Lumpur International Airport to Robertson Suits, which is in Kuala Lumpur, Central Kuala Lumpur kind of a thing. I was going in the Grab. So the Grab, who is driving the Grab, Sir was very very humble. Like, he's like very gentleman kind. He's like, he loves his kids, his wife, and so on and so forth. Because every time I ask a question, he always mentions his kids' names. He always talks about his kids. Like, I want my kids to be happy. I want my kids to grow up good, great. Like the positive narration. He always comes up with that positive kind of a narration again and again and again, no matter what. And about wife as well, and all those things. And to a random stranger, because I'm a random stranger, right? To a random stranger, nobody's going to tell that many times until they have very very good intentions in their heart, which means he has or had a very positive grateful experience with the family dynamics, with the marriage, with the children and everything. That doesn't mean he doesn't have hardships, but there is a support during that hardships. There is a people standing for it. That matters a lot. And if you can get that kind of a thing, that's what I'm trying to do. If you can get that kind of a family, that kind of a dynamic, or that kind of a partner, if you can choose wisely, then your life can be and will be so much better in so many ways. That I can tell. But if it goes other ways around, you are screwed. That's why when I talk about societal pressure, you should never marry, because there is a something called like, oh no, your grandfather is dying, so you get married, so you will see your marriage before he dies. Then tell them, if you're not ready, you die. Just because you are dying, that doesn't mean that I need to get married now, right? You die peacefully. That will be a best wonderful answer. So yeah, generally the society puts a pressure, a invisible pressure, like when you are going to get married and when you are trying to get married. These pressures will never end, people. You need to understand, because once you get married, then they will ask about when you are going to have child, when you get child, when what they are going to become, and then this cycle continues at every phase of life. Especially when society is nothing but group of people you talk in a daily sense, nothing much. So I suggest not to take it so seriously if people asks you or all those things. It doesn't matter. End of the day, if you're ready, if you're ready. If you're not, if you're not. Let's move on to the most important factor here. Emotional balance. This is the real challenge. Learning how to balance your own emotions and your own family's emotions, your partner's emotions, and their family's emotions too. And also, while you have to do that while protecting your boundaries too. Wow, that is not an easy task, I'm telling you. So you need to ask certain questions to yourself. Emotionally, are you prepared for it? At least. Even though no matter what you have prepared, some things in life definitely go out of your control. That we can't do anything, but that's fine. But at least ask yourself a question that, are you ready for what you are asking for? Are you willing to go through what you are willing through? Because once you get married and if you start blaming, oh my marriage did not work because I am not emotionally ready, especially women says this a lot. Women regrets getting married with a wrong person because they think at that point of age I was emotionally high, that's why I was emotionally happy. That is the reason why you should not make a decision because this is a bigger decision in life. You should not make a decision based on purely emotions, because all sorts of emotions will go high and then low and then high and then low, like a wave. It will just go, and when you make a decision when you are high, happy or anything, and when you go low, then you will be like, why did I make these things? So I suggest you should be on a neutral ground when you are making a decision, and the moment you make your decision, you have to try to stick by it until before you make the decision and step into marriage. You can think a lot, however you want to think, how much time you want to take, but once you did take that decision and did stay at that point, then try to stick by it, because the hardest part is not just getting married. The hardest part is actually staying in that marriage for long periods of time. That is the actual hardest part. Not just get married, because Whether you believe it or not, people are getting married and they are getting divorced in like 1 to 2 years. And I don't need to even tell, even from the celebrities, whatever you know or whoever you see on your favorite platforms, to normal people, everyone is maintaining external affairs. So these days marriage is becoming a bigger scam than ever, because most people are complaining like, oh, there is an underlying thing for the marriage failures as well that nobody talks, but I'm a doctor, I will talk it openly anyway, I don't care. Sexual pleasures and the absence of sex in a marriage is the number one cause for the divorce. And for the people, international audience, if you don't understand what is divorce, I know in some countries the word divorce itself doesn't exist. I have been to those countries, I have seen that. So for them I'm going to explain what is divorce. Okay, divorce is basically legally two partners who got married getting separated legally, stating that we are separating on a legal process is called divorce. Okay, now coming back to the absence of sexual pleasures, yes, that's the number one driving cause for most wrecked marriages, and mostly for infidelity and so on, external affairs. And almost 90% of marriage failures are happening this, because you have to talk this, because if a man or if a woman are not sexually active in marriage, or they do not want that sex thing to happen, or so on and so forth, and all these things enters in chart once you get marriage, and at least one person is not satisfied, or whatever things you did not communicate properly before marriage, so on and so forth, and so on and so forth, all these things will add up, and then one day it will become like a small problem to a compounding, and then it becomes a bigger larger problem where you cannot talk or solve with communication anymore. The moment that becomes, that's when it leads to the marriage. And keep in mind, divorce. And keep in mind, if a divorce happen in your early 20s and you don't have a kid, that's a whole different story. If divorces happen when you are in your 50s or 60s and your kids are grown up, imagine that. Crazy, isn't it? Things that are happening in real life. I am seeing this pattern a lot since 2015, 2016. This has increased a lot overall, because while I was in my med school, right, in their culture, we had like fun game, like you need to find who is the father. From teenage girls to women or 30-35, if anyone comes to the hospital saying stomach pain, this and that, no matter what, first thing they is gonna do is go get the pregnancy test. For women especially, it brutally happens, because most of the times most patients will lie. Now you can say 15 years, even less. Yes, it might be very very shocking, but I have seen those things. Even 13-year-old, 15-year-old got pregnant and they gave birth to the child as well. Yes, these things happened. I saw that with my own eyes, and I am telling you it is true. So what would they do is simply ask all the women in reproductive age group, no matter what your problem is, first you need to get a pregnancy test. Once you are proved you are not pregnant, then they will do ultrasound. Yes, it might sound crazy but true, because sometimes it might miss in pregnancy tests, we never know. there is a 1% chance of anything that can go missing, and then they will do ultrasound. After that, confirming there are no fetus or no pregnancy, anything, then they will do any other thing. Until then, they will not do. Especially this happens for women. And the fun part is for us as interns to find out father. That was like a miraculous thing, because a teen girl comes there, mother or father doesn't know this teen girl has a boyfriend or partner to start with, and then their parents will be so shocked that their kid is pregnant. Let's just say their teenage girl is pregnant, and they will be like, they will start arguing with us as a doctors there. They're like, we did not expect this, we did not blah blah blah. So what we do is we completely separate parents from that point, and then ask the teenage one the whole history of her dating pool. And when we get the whole history of the dating pool, we get lots of names, not just one or two. And I'm not judging anyone here, by the way. And now we'll be sitting there knowing we don't know who is the father. And when parents comes and asks us, doc, who is the father now? Who did this? And we had no idea, because now we have to call all the multiple partners and then make sure who was the last one, who was the first one. We have no idea. So these things do exist in some parts of the places in the world. That's why I have crazy experiences in while I was studying medicine and so on, because I'm not blaming anyone, but this happens because of lack of education, lack of awareness. What you can expect from teenage? Nothing. So these things are part of life. We cannot blame anyone or any person. It happens. But yeah, these things do happen. These do exist in real life. Most people may not know those. Like I said, that's why I like to interact with people more, because you can hear crazy amount of stories that you think you know everything about life, but that will make you humble in 0.3 seconds. Literally, I'm telling you, in 0.3 to 5 seconds, you will be humbled like, what? Is this even a possibility? Yeah. So that's why I like to talk about all these topics in general, is because I would like to hear from you in the comments. The internet is a wonderful space where you can share your stories openly, and I would like to hear from you. That gives me a little bit more insights about how your culture works or your thing works. That's why I like to do this. I love doing this podcasts and my videos and so on and so forth. Is because once you start commenting your own stories or crazy things, it becomes crazy awesome to know that this exists, and we can take at least precautionary measures, or we can start awareness a little bit at least. That's just how I think. Probably, I don't know, I might sound crazy to a lot of people. I do understand that, but that's okay. Anyways, so I would like to conclude this episode. If ever you are feeling pressured about marriage right now, just remember one simple thing: your life timeline belongs to you, not to everyone else around you, but you. The relationship should bring peace to you, your growth, and it should be like not 50-50 1% partnerships. It should be like 100%, not from the pressure or loss of your identity. So yeah, take your time, build your life, and when the right moment comes, it will make sense to you, then you get married. That's what I want to say. Nothing else. If it doesn't. If you don't want to get married at all, fine, 100% fine. What is wrong with that? You can dedicate your whole life to something great. You can become someone great, and so on and so forth. Just saying, marriage is not an end goal, it's just a part of life. If you want to skip it, you can skip it, no problem. It's all about you and what you want in your life. That's all. So I think that's all for now. So thank you so much for listening to this Doctor podcast. If this episode resonated with you, how you feel, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and share your thoughts in the comment section as well. Until next time, take care of your mind, your path, and your journey more than other factors, society pressure, and stuff. So, take care. I'm Dr. Mukund, the road dog. Feels like I'm tired, but, anyways, signing off. Bye bye. See you in the next episode.